You don't want to rush. You want to take it nice and slow and easy. I mean, if you're minting, fine, go fast, but make sure you're using the minting wallet like we talked about. But if you're buying or selling or transferring, you want to go nice and slow where possible, because you can copy and paste the wrong wallet address if you're transferring something, or you can accept a 10 die offer, which is worth $10. So definitely take your time where applicable, where possible, and that'll also give you enough time to breathe and reassess what you're doing to potentially avoid getting scammed or accepting a bad offer or doing other number of unsavory actions.
Hello everyone, hello again. Thank you to be here and welcome on a new episode of Robert Spotlight. Robert Spotlight today, hardware wallet and security and NFT land with my guest, and I have the honor to host today, Dave EHRENTREU. So thank you to be here.
My pleasure, Robert. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so Dave, today you are Discord moderator for the project called VFriend.
That's right. Yeah, I've been a moderator at VFriends for about 7 or 8 months now. It's been a wild ride.
Did you learn a lot of things by being a Discord moderator of such a big project?
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot, and I've seen a lot. And the main thing that's caught my eye is the number of scammers that are in this space, as I'm sure a lot of people who are knowledgeable about the space have seen. You know, I can't even imagine the number of scammers that I've banned from the VFriend server. But the thing that struck me is like the number of different ways that the scammers think of to try and get free stuff from people in the Discord. So it's up to the moderators to kind of identify, behavior that we know is coming from a scammer, but also identify new and emerging threats.
Okay, so you are like in the front line. So for me today, moderator of any kind of successful project, NFT project, are on the front line.
Yeah, I would say that's absolutely true, right? We're seeing, we're watching the general chat, we're watching also the holder chat, but mainly general to keep some of the newer people safe. And that's mainly where we see a lot of the scams occurring, right? Because most of the scammers don't own tokens from the projects. Yes. They don't have access to the holder channels. So they're mainly attacking, trying to attack people in, the non-holder channels.
Make perfect sense. On your, so I'm quoting your Discord user profile. Ask me about hardware wallet. So let's do that. What is a hardware wallet, Dave?
So a hardware wallet is the inverse to a software wallet. So I think it's helpful to kind of understand what a software wallet is first before we hit on hardware wallet. A software wallet, the best example is MetaMask. So it's a in-browser add-in or extension that you download, right? You're downloading software and you're embedding it into, Google Chrome or Firefox or whatever. So that's really just the definition of a software wallet. You download software and you embed it in your website, in your browser, and you can use that software wallet to store NFTs and crypto. You can have multiple wallet addresses tied to it. And MetaMask also is kind of like a conduit to connect those software wallets to websites like vfriends.com or Uniswap or any of the popular websites.
Yes.
A hardware wallet is when we're talking about Ledger and Trezor specifically, is a physical USB device. So it's a piece of hardware that code lives in, and your seed phrase and your /private key lives on. So the main difference is that when you set up a MetaMask wallet, for example, you're provided a seed phrase, a 12-word seed phrase in your web browser. So it's already quote unquote hot, meaning that it's touched the internet, and it's not nearly as secure as a seed phrase that's provided to you by Ledger and Trezor, because again, it's touched the internet. The 24-word seed phrases that you get from Ledger and Trezor come directly from the hardware device, and it's never touched the internet. So that's one of the main differences.
Okay. And between the software wallet, so the hot wallet and the cold wallet, so the hot wallet, aka MetaMask, and the cold wallet, aka either Ledger or Trezor, in one way, the private key is stored on the PC, when it's like a hot wallet. And the difference with the cold wallet, it's like it's saved on the USB key, right?
Yeah, so, that's 100% correct. The one point that I do want to correct, and it's something that it took me a long time to learn as well, is the definition of cold versus hot. So historically, like when the space was still pretty new to a lot of new NFT users, like several months ago, a year ago, I always referred to MetaMask as a hot wallet, but technically it's a software wallet. Conversely, a Ledger or a Trezor, the terminology is a hardware wallet. You can have non-cold wallets on Ledger and Trezor. So just because it's a hardware wallet doesn't necessarily mean it's cold. Hot and cold refers to the level of connectivity that those wallets have to certain smart contracts and websites. So you can actually have a MetaMask software wallet that is cold. I mean, the seed phrase isn't cold, but the wallet can be cold because you just haven't connected that MetaMask wallet address to any websites or smart contracts.
Okay, makes perfect sense. So as you make these things that can be difficult to understand, talking about MetaMask being cold, aka don't connect to any smart contract. If your MetaMask it's not connected to any smart contract, it's like you have a layer of protection because you don't interact with a smart contract, right? But the main issue, it's like if your PC or whatever you have a virus, the scammer can have access to the private key. And the thing is true whenever you have access to internet.
Yeah, that's true. You touched on a piece of why having a hardware wallet is so important. To your point, right? The MetaMask software wallet seed phrase is stored on your computer in your browser, right? And so if a scammer has access to your file directory, or if they can, remotely take, if you have a computer virus and they can take control of your computer. Maybe all they have to do is just wait for you to type in your MetaMask password that next time, and then they can take control of your computer and initiate a transaction out of your wallet. Conversely, with a hardware wallet, in order to sign a transaction and have something leave a hardware wallet, the private key, aka the seed phrase, is required. So the scammer, even if they have control, even if you have a computer virus and they have control of your computer, they can initiate a transaction to send an NFT out of your hardware wallet that's connected to MetaMask, but they can't finish signing it because they don't have the physical device with them.
Yes, and you have also to physically push the button. You have to have the USB key connected physically to your PC to have the transaction to go through. It's like you have one way to have the transaction. It's like you click on whatever the connect button, you click, you send the transaction, it's going to go through when it's on the hot wallet. But with a hardware wallet, it's not going to go through because it's going to expect you to do a physical action. So you have to have your USB key, your hardware wallet connected to your PC and to validate physically the thing. So it's why there is this extra layer of protection.
That's exactly right. And one thing that I hear from potential hardware wallet users, people that don't have a hardware wallet yet, is will it make the process of approving a transaction slower? Because they're concerned with mint. If it's a free mints are really popular these days, and they want speed is important. So they're concerned that having to sign something on a physical device will cause them to miss out on a mint or a claim or whatever. And it is true that it will take slightly longer to approve a transaction on a hardware wallet. But the only nuance is that you'll initiate the transaction from the hardware wallet via MetaMask, right? MetaMask, just like you would normally sign on a software transaction, you would click approve or sign in MetaMask, and then it'll send the transaction to be approved onto the physical device that you're holding. And then all you have to do is scroll through, click the right button a couple times, and then click both buttons on the approve, and then it'll go through just like normal. It doesn't affect the throughput time on the blockchain. Again, the throughput time on the blockchain is totally controlled by the miners and the gas level, the GUI level that's been set by the user. The main difference is just having to sign the transaction a second time on the physical device. And I would say it takes maybe 2 to 4 seconds extra. So whenever somebody tells me that their concern is that they're going to be a little bit slower in minting something and they're afraid they're going to miss out, they just have to think about whether 2 to 4 seconds is going to be hit or miss for them.
Yes,
but it's not. It's pretty insignificant in my opinion, and it's well worth the security. Another option for those people who have that concern is they can mint from a software wallet, and then once they've successfully minted, they can transfer it to their semi-cold or cold hardware wallet address after the mint's over.
So what you present here is like a typology where you have several wallets and you split the feature. So it's like instead of having, I have one wallet and I do everything from it. So buying, selling, listing, store, and prove that I own any kind of NFT. It's like what you are saying. It's like you use several wallets to do a specific action. And in this example, that was the font. The founder, it's buying, and basically you have a wallet only dedicated for that, and you can do that without hardware wallet. So it's like a MetaMask wallet, a simple MetaMask wallet.
That's exactly right. Going back to one of my prior comments, you can have a quote unquote cold wallet that you put all your valuable NFTs in within a MetaMask software wallet. So long as you don't approve any smart contract transactions and you don't connect it to any websites, it's technically cold, and it's very safe. The main difference again being that the seed phrase that protects all of the MetaMask software wallets under that one account has touched the internet. So it's still not nearly as safe as a hardware wallet, but you can still achieve the same concept of cold versus hot wallet within MetaMask. But to your point, having multiple wallets is key. I think anybody that wants to get involved with semi-expensive NFTs has to have at least 2 wallets. When we get into several or 5 or 10 wallets, for the normal NFT user, it's not going to be that important to have 5+ wallets. At a minimum, though, all users should have at least 2 wallets. One that I normally dub as a minting wallet, which is a hot wallet that you connect to weird websites and free mints and all the wacky stuff that people like to do in the NFT space. And then a cold storage wallet for the semi to very valuable NFTs that people definitely don't want to have stolen. And that wallet does not get connected to any websites or approve any smart contract transactions. So again, a minimum 2 wallets, 1 minting wallet, and then 1 cold storage wallet for high value NFTs. And then as that user progresses in the NFT space and they become more comfortable, and they accrue more NFTs and more valuable NFTs, they can start moving into 3 wallets, 4 wallets, and either expand on the hot wallet side, where originally they had 1 minting wallet that they connected to weird websites. Maybe once they feel that wallet's been burned, or maybe that wallet starts to store some level, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 worth of NFTs, they can have a new minting wallet. And MetaMask accommodates that very easily. You just click create new wallet, and you start using that second new minting wallet, and then you have 3 wallets. And then once your cold storage wallet starts to fill up with high value NFTs, then you can create a new wallet and have that be a second cold wallet. And it as you can see, as you progress in the NFT space and your collection grows, you're probably also going to want to grow your wallet number horizontally.
Okay. I have two feedback around that. So the first one, it's something that I find out of Twitter. It's instead of 2 wallet, it's 3 wallet. So it's like there is 3 layer. The first one is the same concept of only minting. The second one, it's only selling. So it's like you connect to OpenSea, Luxware, and whatever other platform. But you use at this layer an hardware wallet, to be sure that the tokens that you are going to list have been protected by the hardware wallet. So you have to sign with the physical device to approve the listing. And the third layer with cold storage. So this one, it's something that I have found that on paper, I find it very well. The only issue that I have with that, it's, in my perspective, it's impossible to have cold storage really cold. For example, on this setup, if I have my VFriend and my VFriend, it's on the cold storage, at some point I have to connect to vfriend.com to have access to anything. So at this point, I never... it's like you have to do a choice between being really cold, but you are going to miss out on things because you will don't prove that you are the holder of NFT, or to have a kind of hybrid approach of, okay, I'm connected only on this stuff. So it was my first feedback, and I believe I just forget the second one, but oh damn, what was
no worries. I felt like that was 2, so let me touch on that first. And
okay, let's go.
So to your point, there can absolutely be many different iterations of wallet storage solutions, and each person is probably going to find something different works for them.
Yes.
So I completely, and I actually also recommend the same wallet setup that you mentioned, one for minting, one for selling, and one for cold storage that, again, you don't connect anywhere. And that works beautifully because you can mint stuff, and then you can send it to cold storage, and then when you're ready to sell it, you move that one NFT to the selling wallet, and the selling wallet, again, has to connect to OpenSea. You have to approve the contract for selling. It is a bit more, of course, it's a bit more risky than pure cold storage. So you don't want to have a lot of NFTs in the selling wallet at one point. So again, you only move stuff that you really want to sell to the selling wallet, and all the valuable stuff stays in cold storage until you're ready to do something with it. In regards to your other comment about missing out, because you store all your VFriends or your whatever other valuable project in cold storage, and you don't want to connect it to Collabland or VFriends.com or any other sites to claim roles or claim free mints. The thing I would say to that is it's almost always better to miss out on something than to do something you're not comfortable with or do something risky, especially when it comes to your cold storage wallet. So the number one rule I would say, and I've been talking ad nauseum with a lot of my other friends in a private chat about this, who are also kind of in the security space, as for new to moderate users of NFTs who haven't been around the block and who haven't seen all the scams to know what to look for, it's almost always better to do nothing. I would say it's always better to do nothing until you can verifiably prove, either through talking with multiple people and getting a large population sample size of people that say, yes, this is safe, or having the experience, reading up from a reputable site that they recommend doing it, or something that helps you prove that the action you're about to take is an approved action that has been taken by other users, and it's mainly safe. So again, it's almost always better to do nothing until you can prove that you can do something.
Okay, get it. So the second part, I just remember, it was a question regarding the seed phrase, because we need to explain to people the importance of seed phrase first, and I'm going to ask a follow-up question on that. So what can you say? You already talk about seed phrase, 12 words and 24 words, but why do you think it's that important?
So just to define what a seed phrase is, like we talked about, MetaMask is typically 12 words, and hardware wallets like Ledger and Trezor are 24 words. The length does matter, right? 24 words is way infinitely more secure than 12 words. It's much harder to guess. But even at 12 words, it's practically impossible to guess anyway. So the length doesn't matter as much. What a seed phrase is it's a human readable form of your wallet's or your account's private key. So a private key and seed phrase are the same thing. They can both be used to back up or restore a wallet, a MetaMask account or a Ledger account. But it's a human readable format, so it's much easier to write down 12 or 24 normal English words versus writing down a very long string of letters and numbers and capitalized letters versus lowercase letters. So it's just a different format of your wallet's private key. And if your private key is compromised or stolen, or somebody else besides yourself has your private key, they have access to all of the wallets that are tied to that one seed phrase or one private key. So I'll give you one example. So in MetaMask, right, you can have multiple software wallets within MetaMask, 2, 3, 10, 100, whatever it may be. All of those wallets, because they're contained within one instance of MetaMask, those are all one account. And all of those wallets are tied to that single 12-word seed phrase and private key. So if the seed phrase or private key is compromised, the scammer or whoever has it can steal from all of those wallets, 100 plus whatever wallets. Same concept holds true for hardware wallets. If your seed phrase is compromised, the scammer has access to all of the wallets that are tied to that seed phrase. Many multiples of wallets. So that's why it's super important to protect the seed phrase. Particularly with Ledger and Trezor, the main way to store it is by either writing it down on at least, I would say, 2 pieces of paper. You store either one in your house in a fireproof safe, one in a bank security box, or in some other place like a family member's fireproof safe or something. So at least you have it in 2 different places. So if one of them gets destroyed by fire or whatnot, God forbid, you at least have a backup of that. The other option is some of the hardware wallet companies sell fireproof metal containers that you can put the piece of paper in, and it protects it from burning. Again, if God forbid your house catches on fire. And there's also other metal solutions that they have little tiles with the letters on them. You can slide it into a board. Yes. And create your seed phrase in another metal format, again, that can't burn. Early on, going back to my moderator position, earlier on in the VFriends Discord, and I'm sure a lot of other Discords in the NFT space, scammers were really keying in on the fact that users only had software wallets like MetaMask. And what they were doing was they were creating scam sites that the users would navigate to via their browser, and it would pull up a fake MetaMask box on that web page, and it was tricking users into putting their seed phrase in. And the second that they finished writing that last letter of that 12th word, the scammer has everything they need to steal the NFTs out of the software wallet. At that point, I don't think I was a moderator yet. At that point, I was seeing it was so prevalent that was one of the main impetuses for me to start learning about hardware wallets and talking about it ad nauseum in the Discord, just because so many people were getting scammed. And a hardware wallet protects against that pretty well. If you enter your 24-word hardware wallet seed phrase into a fake form, you're still going to lose your NFTs. But because the seed phrase should never be entered into a internet connected device, you already know in the back of your head, hey, I shouldn't be entering this onto a computer at any point. Whereas with MetaMask, if you need to restore your MetaMask account, either in the same browser or in a different computer, you're already trained to type that 12-word seed phrase into a web browser, right? It's a necessity to either restore your account or port it over to another computer. So the fact that the hardware wallet seed phrase always lives offline, that's like the first line of defense against those what I would call phishing scams.
Okay, makes sense. And so just to make a little follow-up, let's pretend that, because seed phrase in a nutshell, it's a way to restore access to a wallet for whatever reason. So that is the main reason to have the seed phrase. So let's say we talk about hardware wallet. You lose your hardware wallet. So right now you have to restore the account. So at this moment, in fact, if I rephrase my phrase, it's just a follow-up on what you just said about regarding hardware wallet. You don't have to type your seed phrase at any point. What I'm adding now is comma if you don't need to restore this particular wallet. So that is true by default if you don't need to restore the wallet.
Yeah, absolutely right. The way if you lose your Ledger, Trezor, or hardware wallet, excuse me, the way that you would restore it is you just buy another Ledger or Trezor, another hardware wallet, and you can pop the original 24-word seed phrase from the first hardware wallet into the new one. Like when you set the new device up, it'll ask you whether you want to set up a new account, or if you want to restore an existing account.
Yes.
You select restore existing account, and you input the 24-word seed phrase into the new physical device. So going back to my prior comments, with a hardware wallet, you never type in or enter your 24-word seed phrase into any internet connected device. The Ledger or Trezor hardware device is offline, and that's the only, to your point, it's the only time when you would enter a seed phrase anywhere. It's into a new hardware device at the point where you need to restore your account.
Get it. Thank you for this little precision, because that makes the difference. It's going to be offline anyway because it's happening on the hardware wallet, not on the desktop. So it's correct. Why, by default, anyone asking you for this thing is kind of there is like a scam intention. So yeah. I get it. Thank you for this precision.
Yeah, no worries. Exactly. It's a different train of thought, right? Going back, I want to reiterate this because it's very important. MetaMask users are predisposed to entering their 12-word seed phrase into a MetaMask in a browser, right? Conversely, like we just talked about, with a hardware wallet, you only enter it into a physical device that's always offline.
Get it. Perfect. When someone needs to buy an hardware wallet, in your point of view?
I missed the last part of that question.
Sorry. So when do you recommend to someone to buy a hardware wallet?
I would, to be honest, if that person can afford, the $70 or $80 for the lowest tier hardware wallet from Ledger or Trezor, I would say anybody that's looking to get started in the NFT space should start with a hardware wallet. I've gone through the iterations of telling people, like, you don't really need one until you reach $2,500 or $5,000 or $10,000 of value in NFTs. But if you're getting involved in the NFT space, you're getting involved because you think you see a path to mass adoption, you see a path to high values of NFTs, and even if you don't think the NFTs that you're buying or you own are going to appreciate a lot in value, you still don't want to lose them, right? You're buying them because you like them. And I would really tell anybody who's starting to get involved in the NFT space or who already is in the space, you get a hardware wallet now. The cost is minimal versus the protection that you gain. And again, the lowest level of a hardware wallet. And again, I really don't recommend the higher level hardware wallets to most people. People just don't need the added functionality of a Ledger Nano X, which is the highest tier ledger. They don't need the Bluetooth, and with Trezor, they don't need the higher, the bigger screen or whatever. Most people can do very, very well and won't miss out by using the lowest tier of hardware wallet from Ledger and Trezor. So the cost is minimal. It's like $70 or $80.
Yes, I'm totally agree with you. It's like from day one, basically, and it's not only from day one because you may find out a valuable thing. It's not only for that. For me, the main reason would be to educate yourself, to know how to behave, and to already have the good psychology and the
practices
to behave the good way right away. For me, that would be the same thing. So I'm totally agree with you.
Those two reasons are perfect reasons. The third reason I would add is a monetary one, right? The earlier you start, the less NFTs that you're going to accrue that you have to transfer from a software wallet to a hardware wallet later on and pay the gas. So the earlier you start, the less gas you're going to have to pay to transfer later.
Yes.
Because you'll already be storing the NFTs on a hardware wallet. You won't have to transfer them and pay gas.
It's going to be done right away. Get it. So if someone buy, regarding buying NFT, so you can buy directly from the provider, you can buy from Amazon. What would you recommend to someone?
You're asking about how to buy a hardware wallet, right?
Yes, right.
My main recommendation would be to not buy from Amazon, Best Buy, eBay. The main reason being, like the hardware wallet itself may not be stored by the manufacturer, and it's been touched by potentially many people outside of the manufacturer, right? Driver transporting it, people in a warehouse, whatever. So you really want to buy directly from the manufacturer. That's a main rule that I always tell everybody. It just reduces the amount of risk you're taking in terms of somebody tampering with the device that you're buying. So definitely buy directly from the manufacturer is a key.
Perfect. Do you know any scenario where an hardware wallet has been hacked?
I think in previous versions, I think if you search YouTube, I think there are videos of very, very smart technical people hacking into an older version of a Ledger or Trezor.
Okay.
I think we're now several generations of devices past that. So in recent history, there's been no hacks of a device as far as I'm aware of. Okay. Besides, of course, losing a seed phrase. Just to touch on another reason why not to buy from a place other than the manufacturer. I have heard of users losing their NFTs once they transfer a high value NFT from their software wallet to their new Ledger or Trezor. But when they receive the Ledger or Trezor, the piece of paper that has 24 lines for you to write your seed phrase on was already filled out, and so they didn't think anything of it. They didn't think anything of it, and they continued and they used that seed phrase.
Okay.
And somebody obviously had tampered with the box. They put the cellophane back on, and somebody else already had that seed phrase. And so once an NFT was transferred to a wallet under that account, it was stolen immediately. So that buying from the manufacturer avoids all of that weird stuff.
I'm agree. What could you say about blind signing?
So blind signing is, I'm pretty sure it only pertains to Ledger. It's a setting on a Ledger hardware wallet device. If you go in,
Sorry, it's that don't exist on a Trezor?
to my knowledge, no, I don't believe.
Okay.
I don't believe blind
Okay.
signing is a setting on Trezor.
Okay.
I believe it's a setting on Ledger within the Ethereum application. And it basically tells the device whether you're willing to allow it to sign a smart contract interaction. I don't know why they named it blind signing. It used to be called, I think, smart contract or something more understandable by users, but now it's called blind signing. But it's basically you telling the device as a setting whether you want it to allow smart contract interactions. And when we deal with NFTs, typically everything is a smart contract interaction. When you're sending Ethereum from one wallet to another, that does not require any smart contract. But when we're buying NFTs on OpenSea, or we're selling, or we're transferring an NFT, in most cases, that's going to be a smart contract interaction. And that's just a setting that has to be turned on in order to sign smart contract transaction on your hardware wallet, with specifically Ledger.
Okay, perfect. Regarding hardware wallet, did there is anything that you need to say about it, and I didn't offer you the opportunity to?
Yeah, I mean, hardware wallets are tricky, right? They're not super intuitive yet. I mean, Ledger and Trezor and other hardware wallets, when you buy them and you unbox them, they do have pretty good instructions. They both have, Ledger and Trezor both have a desktop software that they have you download, and that also helps walk you through the setup process. There's a lot of documentation online, but if you were just somebody unboxing it and there were no instructions, it's not intuitive at all. And just like you mentioned with blind signing, if that's not included in the instruction manual that you get from Ledger. So there are some pitfalls when setting these things up that may turn users off, and we don't, as a community, we don't want that to happen, right? We want people to feel empowered and feel comfortable using these devices. So I personally, in conjunction with the VFriends team, we created an hour-long tutorial video of how to set up a Ledger Nano S wallet. Again, what I would say is to anybody who's got some trepidations about starting to use a hardware wallet, just start getting educated. There's a lot of good resources on YouTube. Don't just trust one. Like, watch multiple videos so you can corroborate what those people are saying against one another. And if they're all sort of saying the same thing, and somebody like me, don't just trust my video, right? Watch other people's videos and make sure they're saying the same thing. And if they're not saying the same thing, do a little bit, dig deeper to make yourself comfortable enough to move forward. But again, I think education is number one. And once people get educated on hardware wallets and they understand the cost of benefits of using one versus a software wallet, I think that'll sell them. And then getting educated on how to use it and feel empowered using it, to avoid any missteps is key as well. So leverage your communities, leverage the discords that you're in. Of course, don't just trust one person, because the person you could be talking to in Discord is a scammer maybe. So make sure you corroborate against multiple sources. Reach out to moderators and admins in the Discords that you're in. Particularly in VFriends, I mean, we talk about security a lot, and we put out a lot of good content on YouTube. So I would definitely use those resources to your advantage.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to add the link of the video on the description. So it's going to be on the YouTube description. Thank you for this follow-up information. Just to move on the security aspect on NFT, what I would say, it's a hardware wallet. You should see that as a no-brainer. You should use that from day one. Dave give this recommendation, and I believe also it's not a device that is quite expensive, and there is basically it's a no-brainer for me. You should use that, and you should use that to improve your security layer on the Web3, because if you don't have a good security, if you are not mature on a security perspective, in a Web3, you are going to be like a target. And, at some point, a scammer is going to attack you and steal your stuff, basically. So for me, it's a no-brainer. You have to buy a hardware wallet and start using it. I'm going to put the video, the walkthrough that the VFriend team, and I believe you have either you are the author of that or you participate, but I'm going to put that up.
Awesome.
So let's talk right now about security issue on NFT. We will. I'm going to try to ask quicker question, because I need to protect your time as well. So, what about fake collection? What could you say about fake collection?
I would say outside of OpenSea, it's getting pretty difficult to figure out whether a collection is fake or not, or whether the smart contract has bugs in it that might ultimately steal your stuff. Again, that's why it's so important. Whether you use a hardware wallet or not, you have to, if you're going to mint a new collection, you should always do it from a minting wallet that doesn't contain more than the amount of ETH that you need to do the minting, or other valuable NFTs. I'd say that OpenSea does a decent to good job of hiding fake or scam collections under the hidden tab on OpenSea. So if you navigate to your wallet on OpenSea, there's a tab, or in the dropdown you can select hidden, and you can see all of the fake or scam, potentially fake or scam,
Yes.
NFTs that OpenSea has flagged as suspicious. Sometimes airdrops, sometimes airdrops from legitimate projects go under the hidden tab until proven differently by OpenSea. So I'm not going to go ahead and say that all of those are scams, but the majority are, and I think they do a decent to good job of separating them from the real collections. Again, on OpenSea in particular, you can use the blue check marks to determine whether a collection is verified or not. And in the majority of cases, you can feel pretty comfortable buying and selling verified collection NFTs. But yeah, in terms of minting new projects, it's, unless there are glaring errors like spelling errors, or if it's a very easy to spot copy paste of another project, it is, at least for me, it's difficult to figure out whether a new collection is fake or a scam. So again, it's imperative that you use a dedicated minting wallet that has not a lot of value in it to do so.
Yes. So a little follow-up on my part regarding that. The red flag that I will look after is going to be, on OpenSea, you have the volume information and also the order number of information. So that can be seen as a trigger if the number is very low, if there is a very little volume, because basically fake collection, it's like you have a new collection that is successful, and after you have a scammer that is going to do a copy paste of all the things, the OpenSea page, the website for the minting, etc., and is going to try to steal volume basically from the original official thing. So something that can be watched is the volume and the order, and also the always use official link from a Discord. So it's the things that I will add on the things that you just said before.
Yeah, you're spot on, Robert. to your point, a couple things to look for. If the tokens that you were linked to are in somebody's personal wallet, if it's in a wallet address and it's not tied to a project, that's definitely a cause for concern. Right, projects are always going to be under collection and not in a personal wallet. Some people mint like VFriends 2 or VFriends to their personal wallet, like fake tokens, and then people search for them and they end up on that page. So if it's in a personal wallet, definitely a scam. Also, to Robert's point, if the collection if you expected it to be 10,255 tokens, like with VFriends, and the collection only has 12 tokens, for sure, red flag.
Something wrong. Yes.
And again, to your point, if the volume is very, very low, and you expected it to be in the thousands of ETH, then that's another cause for concern.
Okay. Another tweet, the fake minting. So I said fake mint, but it's like, when a scammer airdrop NFT on the wallet of a big influencer. So what could you say about that?
A couple things. The first, and this is something that I talk about VFriends a lot because I've invested and I'm also a moderator. So that's like a good example.
Makes sense.
So one thing that Gary says a lot is don't follow what my wallet is doing, because Robert, to your point, what scammers can do is they can mint directly to a wallet and make it look like that wallet purchased the NFT, but in fact it was minted by somebody else and sent to the wallet in question, to an influencer's wallet, for example. And so people track influencers' wallets, and it gets them into trouble because the influencer didn't actually intend, or they didn't actually buy it, and no ETH left their wallet. It was just minted for free directly to their wallet, and people get caught minting those things, and it turns out to be a scam or a rug pull. Yeah, that's my main comment on that.
Okay, thanks. What about misleading offers? So it's like, let's say you have an asset that you list for whatever the number on ETH, let's say 10 ETH, and you receive an offer of 10 DII. What could you say about misleading offers?
Yeah, scammers try a lot of different things, and that's one of the tactics that they try to do is they'll either offer the same number of tokens that you have it listed for, but in like the DAI, like you said, DAI, which is a dollar peg. It's a stable coin, so it's 1-to-1 with a dollar. So they're offering $10 on an asset that's worth 10 ETH. And they're hoping that somebody is going too fast, and they just go ahead and accept the offer because, hey, I listed it for 10 ETH. Somebody's offering me 10 whatevers. I'm going to go ahead and accept it, thinking that it's 10 ETH, and I end up with $10. And that has happened before. I mean, I've seen it happen before, and people have lost their valuable NFTs for a very low sum of money. This goes back to another overarching core tenet of how to operate in the NFT space as a user. You don't want to rush. You want to take it nice and slow and easy. I mean, if you're minting, fine, go fast, but make sure you're using the minting wallet like we talked about. But if you're buying or selling or transferring, you want to go nice and slow where possible, because you can copy and paste the wrong wallet address if you're transferring something, or you can accept the 10 DAI offer, which is worth $10. So definitely take your time where applicable, where possible, and that'll also give you enough time to breathe and reassess what you're doing to potentially avoid getting scammed or accepting a bad offer or doing other number of unsavory actions.
Thank you. I believe this one can be the opening of this podcast. It's like whatever the subject, it's like slow it down, take a breath, and don't rush, basically. So thank you for that, because this one, I believe on post-production, this thing is going to be upfront, and it's going to be the opening of the full show, because it's such a good advice. Thank you to bring that up.
It also ties back to a prior comment that we talked about of sometimes it's better to do nothing than to do something that could potentially end up costing you.
Yes, thank you. Twitter account act. What could you say about this threat on the NFT land?
Yeah, you also can't trust everything you see on Twitter. There's influencer accounts that have been hacked before. These accounts have the blue check mark, so they look legit, but they're actually being controlled by a scammer. And if you remember back several months ago when ApeCoin first came out and Azuki,
yes,
dropped their second tier of tokens. These scammers were using these verified Twitter accounts, and they were posting scam links. And because they were sent from a verified account, users trusted them, and they thought that they were going to get a free airdrop of ApeCoin or a free airdrop of Azuki version 2, and they end up getting scammed. So again, another core tenet within the NFT space as a user is if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true.
That makes me think of during VCon, people Twitter account have been hacked, and basically during the night, some tweet have been released on his account, and the next day, some people of the VFriend community lost their VFriend. Around everything where it's like Twitter account hacked. And there is a tweet. Generally, the red flag that I maybe I'm going to talk on another thread, but the red flag at some point right now I don't get that often, but at one point, a lot of verified account tag me on a thing, and when you go watch the tweet, it's like blah blah blah. Go on this website. And there is a lot of tweet on this thread where a bunch of people have been tagged, but nobody can interact. Nobody can comment. So at that time, the red flag, the thing that I was looking after was, so basically me, I wasn't interacting with this thing because it's like outside of my trust environment. But I would say for the NFT user, the red flag that I look, it's why you tag me, you tag a lot of people, and nobody can talk back to you. So that was something that I was looking after.
Yeah, that makes total sense, right? Why not let the people that you've tagged respond? And of course, because they're scammers, they don't want the people who are tagged to say, "Hey, this is a scam," and warn anybody. So yeah, that is a tactic that the scammers will use. And to your prior point, right, while we were at VCon, somebody very well known in the space, their Twitter got hacked, and their verified account, and the scammer tweeted out a fake mint link, and it's another court. Earlier on in the space, like stealth mints and quick mints were like all the rage.
Yes.
Like everybody was on their toes waiting to get like a nice mint and hopefully make some money. And that was all well and good for a little bit of time. But then scammers started to take advantage of the stealth mint aspect. And so now where we are in the space is almost all projects are vehemently saying in their discords, we'll never do a stealth mint. What Gary's been saying in the VFriends Discord is if we're going to do a mint, we're going to tell you a week or 2 weeks in advance. And Gary is going to post a video of himself saying, hey, we're going to mint. So I think that's a great security practice. And I think it's moving the space forward in a good way. But again, stealth mints, heavily avoid them. It's better to miss out than to get scammed. And also, like we've talked about, be wary of even if it comes from a verified account on a social media platform, that account could be hacked.
Okay, perfect. Last one, Discord server hacked. What could you say about that?
Yeah, if I'm channeling my inner Corso, who's the Discord manager at VFriends, he would correct that terminology and say, The server's compromised.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yes.
So
sorry about that.
He's corrected me so many times. I just think it's funny at this point. But it is the correct terminology to say it's compromised. Basically, what's been happening a lot is either an admin or one of the moderators' Discord accounts gets hacked or compromised, and the scammer gains control of the server through the permissions that were given to that specific account. I don't want to get too deep into the tech part, but a lot of times they'll use webhooks, and they will be able to post a minting link in the announcements channel. Normally a stealth mint that was never announced, right? Because the project wasn't intending to do any minting, but the scammer wants you to mint the scam token. They'll post it in the announcements channel. They'll post it in a lot of other channels. They'll ping everybody. And they're preying on the fact that the user is going to move too quickly before thinking and mint their scam tokens, or connect to a smart contract that steals their NFTs from their wallet. So again, be wary of stealth mints. Be wary of it is possible for moderator and admin accounts to be compromised. So going into another topic, you also want to be careful about who you're talking to in DMs. And maybe this was going to be your next question, but sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem.
It's possible that you're talking to either a fake moderator or admin, like the user, the scammer that you're talking to may have just spoofed is using the same name, and also the last four numbers, like the pound and last four numbers could also be the same if they use Nitro on Discord. Or it could even be that the admin or moderator account was compromised, and it is the real account, but you're still talking to a scammer because that account's been compromised. So just have a skeptical eye while navigating the space, and that'll help tremendously.
Okay, perfect. It's we are up to 1 hour. I don't know if you have a little bit of extra time, or if we have to close the show.
I'm good for a couple more.
Okay, a couple more. So I didn't have other threat. So basically, based on your knowledge, so one question that is very personal for me, it's because recently Boss Beauty Discord has been compromised, Board Help has been compromised, several successful projects have been compromised. Based on my knowledge, different servers have there is no compromise at this point. So I mean, my question would be, what do you think the different team is doing differently than other projects?
I would say we talk about security a lot, and it's not just coming direct. It is coming from Corso, right? Corso is very, very security minded, and he takes very good care of the server because he cares a lot, and he's very smart technologically as well. But it's also coming from the moderators, like people like me and Crystal and other moderators who care deeply about the people who are in the server and who care about the project. So it's a collective effort between the admins and the moderators to stay on the forefront and stay ahead of the scammers and be aware of the evolving threats that are within the space and within Discord. We utilize a lot of different bots. I'm not going to go too far into details because I don't want to give away too many secrets. But
yes,
there's a lot of very useful bots that can handle a lot of the minutia around banning scam accounts, banning scam usernames like vFriends Mint. Like nobody who's not a scammer would use that as their Discord name. But we're always like we have our eyes open. We're watching the welcome channel to see who's joining the server. We're watching the general chat. We're watching the NFT talk channel, and we're just watching and waiting and seeing things as they evolve. And as things evolve, if we don't have a plan in place to to capture or account for a new scam that's arising or a new type of account or whatever, then we all meet, we talk about it, and we come up with a solution. Maybe it's implementing a new bot, maybe it's tweaking an existing bot, or maybe it's just notifying the broader moderator team to be aware that this is something that they should look for. But a lot of it has to do with communication. A lot of it has to do with collaboration within the team, and a lot of it has to do with being creative about solving or accounting for the new emerging threats.
Okay, makes sense. So thank you for the reply.
And one last point I would make about that, right? Even though like VFriends has over 300,000 user accounts in the server, right? And so it's way too, like our team is very, very large. I think we have maybe 25 to 30 moderators. We have several admins, but even that's far too small to do everything manually within a server. And so when 1,000 scam bots join a server, you can't just manually go through and ban them at the time.
Makes sense.
And so you have to rely on the tech, the bots. And so that is, I just wanted to harp on that point one more time. If you're moderating or working on a team that has a fairly large user count in a Discord server, you have to think about what bots make sense for that server. You can't do it alone. You can't do it. No human can ban 1,000 bots in a day, every day. Okay,
makes sense. Thanks for that. Regarding the threat on the NFT land, I'm going to thumbs up in an open mic. So, what could be the threat that you have detected and I didn't talk about priorly? Did you find a new threat recently, or did there is any big threat that I didn't talk about at this point?
We just touched on it a bit, but it's becoming very prevalent. Is the scam, the scammers that are impersonating admins and moderators of prominent projects, and it's not so much that they're in the server anymore, because we typically can account for them joining, and we ban them immediately. It's more so now they're external to the server, like Gary V 14, whatever. It's a scam account. They're not in the VFriends server, so they're unbannable, and they have a second account with like a David for what a normal account is in the server, watching in the general chat, waiting for a new user to talk, and they're pinpointing that user and having their Gary V account that's not in the server talk to that person or add them as a friend. And so that's how they can get around us banning those impersonation accounts, is they're external to the server and they have like a scout account in the server. So again, it's very, very important to make sure that you're talking to the real admin or the real moderator. In general, admins and moderators will not reach out to you via DM. They may send a friend request to you, but they'll also, a best practice, if you're a moderator or admin, is to tag that person and say, hey, XYZ1234, I'm sending you a friend request. And you can post that in general chat or somewhere else in the server. So at least they know they can tie that friend request back to a real person in the server. Another best practice, if you're trying to do a deal with a moderator or admin and you're not sure if you're talking to the real person, you can go into the server that they're a moderator or admin in, and you can go into the user list. Typically, the admins and moderators are at the top of the user list. You can click on their real account, click send message, and if it takes you back to the message that you were previously in with that person, then you know it's the real person. If it takes you to a blank thread or a different chat that you weren't expecting, then you're talking to a scammer.
Okay. Thank you. I completely forgetted this one. And it's funny because, as you know, I have made a podcast with Crystal as well. You know, at that point, when I was talking with Crystal before jumping on a DM, you know, it was a discussion on the general channel. And one person do that, you know, the things that you just said. So this person tried to impersonate Crystal, pygmy, because basically I said, okay, I'm going to open my because one tenant as well on the NFT land is to close your Discord DM. So at that point, I say to Crystal, okay, I'm going to open to be able to discuss with you. And on this slot, one person tried to discuss with me and was trying to impersonate Crystal. And after I sent the information to Crystal, and it was that the account was outside of the VFront server. So it's like I get at this point, the person, the scammer is using like a legit account that is only here to listen, and is using another account to try to go and do the scamming thing. So I say thank you, because I forget this one.
That's crazy that it just happened in that short period of time, that you were meaning to talk with Crystal and a fake Crystal messaged you.
But I mean, my belief, it's because, Discord, it's really keyword driven. You can go on the search bar and type everything. So my belief, it's they are watching maybe real time, but maybe also using keyword, to jump on, the intent. They are typing something with the intent of your DM are closed, or I try to contact you, but I can, something like this, to be able to find out, okay, who try to open a discussion to someone else, and I'm going to jump on it. So at least it's my belief, but so it's the first thing that I can say about that. And the second thing, based on the feedback that you gave, it's also a good thing to do by default. So on VFriend, you have I don't recall on which channel it is, but it's like you have a lot of official information, and you also have the official ID of the person, the people on the team. I don't recall exactly how you go on Discord and find out this ID, but at least that can be seen as a good practices, to put up front. Here is the list of trusted persons that you can interact with.
Yeah, I think it might be the glossary channel.
Yes, it's that glossary. Yes,
but even then, I agree. It's a good practice for projects to put the official username and the last 4 digits in a glossary channel or something. But that even that is not foolproof. I think still the best practice is to go into the user list and click on the real account, because no scam account is going to have the admin role or the moderator role given to them in a server. So I think it's still the best practice to go into the user list on the right side of Discord and click on the real account and make sure that that's the person that you're talking to.
Any last threat that you are thinking about?
Get a hardware wallet. Everybody should get a hardware wallet.
Yes, okay. It's a good one.
And use your community as resources. Use me as a resource and VFriends. Just there's resources out there for you to consume. Don't be afraid of a hardware wallet just because you don't know anything about it. Get educated. My video that Robert's going to post on this live stream is, I think, 55 minutes in edited form on YouTube. It's an hour well worth it. And don't stop there. Go on to other videos, corroborate what I'm saying, and get educated. Empower yourself to feel comfortable in navigating the NFT space.
All right. So thank you again, Dave, for your time. I mean, this session was very important for me because security, for me, it's a backbone for the NFT land at the world. That can also be seen as, and for me, the tool to use to make the full space secure, it's education. So it's why I wanted to have you on the podcast. And I see the security issue on the NFT today as a wall for a full adoption. There is a lot of other concerns that will, don't make the world adopt this technology. But security for me, it's clearly a big pain point that will, slow down very highly the adoption on the Web3 space on the world. So it's why I wanted to have you.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think the more that we can insulate the broader NFT community from scams and hacks, the more insulated we'll be from them in the future, and the faster we can move forward as a space and spur more adoption. So I thank you very much for having me on. I love talking about this stuff, and hope we do it again.
Yes, no problem. So thank you. Sorry about the extra time. I took you maybe 15 minutes more. Thank you for that. It was very a pleasure to have you on the podcast, Robert Spotlight. So I hope that you get the point. You get the point. Get a hardware wallet. Be educated. Use the resources that I'm going to put on the description. But bottom line, be safe. And in order to be safe, you are to be knowledgeable. It's my belief. And again, thank you for your time, Dev. I have a little extra question, quick one. It's something that I do in every episode of Robert Spotlight. I'm asking to my guest, for the guest perspective, what is NFT?
What is an NFT?
Yes.
An NFT is a non-fungible token. It means that each token is unique to one another. With like a US dollar. US dollars are fungible. $1 is $1, but an NFT, even if you have the same looking token, the token ID is different from one another. So they're all 100% unique. And go out and buy the ones that you like, or if it's art, if it's utility, if it's go out and search for what you like.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for everything, for your time. And I'm going to end the live stream right now. So I say to everyone, thank you. And we talk on another episode of Robert Spotlight. Dave, thank you again. And see you on another episode.
Thanks so much, Robert.